Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. So 5 players are set to leave Manchester United. It said this, was it yesterday, that 5 players are set to leave Man United in the next 24 hours. And that is Jesse Lingard. Don't forget it said the other week that Lingard was linked with a move to Tottenham. It said Jose Mourinho's keen on reuniting with the player. And Tottenham were preparing to offer around £30 million, but his move to Tottenham didn't materialise. And it also mentioned that Zenit St Petersburg were interested in him. Lingard doesn't regularly get in the team now, does he? Lingard has been part of the club for several years. Lingard, I think, has been at Manchester United since 2000. He was in our youth setup for several years and he's been in our senior squad since 2011. Lingard just got under a year left on his current contract at Man United, but the club do have an option to extend it for a further year. Lingard has won the FA Cup, the Europa League, the EFL Cup and the Community Shield at Manchester United. He is in his late 20s. Don't forget there was a period as well where he didn't score 1 goal or register 1 assist in the Premier League for over a year. But Solskjaer did say before that he wanted Jesse Lingard to stay at the football club. Now, I think another one of the players that's leaving Manchester United is Marcos Rojo. Marcos Rojo's never really established himself as a first-team regular at Manchester United. We got Marcos Rojo back in 2014 from Sporting Lisbon for around £16 million. Rojo's enjoyed a good 5 years or so at the club. Don't forget last season he was out on loan with Estudiantes. I think Rojo's current contract on Man United does expire next year. Another one of the players I think that's going to be leaving, and that is Phil Jones. I think this season is Phil Jones' 10th season at Manchester United. Analysing the vast majority of his career at Man United, he has been inconsistent. We paid just over £16 million for him from Blackburn, was it back in 2011 or 2012? But I know he's been involved since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. Phil Jones is currently out with injury at the moment. I think Sergio Romero, he's going to be leaving the football club. I recently gave you the news regarding Sergio Romero. It said he wants to be released from his contract immediately. And he said he's keen on making a move to the MLS. Don't forget, he was denied a move to Everton on deadline day, wasn't he? Because Everton were really interested in him. I think Everton were willing to pay him £100,000 a week. Leeds United have also been in for him before. Aston Villa have inquired about getting Romero. It said quite a few weeks ago that Valencia were interested. I think we are demanding around the £10 million fee. Romero's enjoyed 5 years or so now at Manchester United. Got him on a free from San Pandora back in 2015. And Romero's always been our backup goalkeeper, hasn't he? He's obviously now our third choice goalkeeper. And he won't want to stay at Manchester United as third choice goalkeeper. Romero's made around 61 appearances for the club. The vast majority of Romero's appearances have come in the FA Cup, the Europa League and the EFL Cup. I think Romero's just got under a year left on his current contract at Man United, but the club do have an option to extend it for a further year. I'm also expecting Timothy Fosu-Mensah to leave the football club. Doesn't really get a lot of game time, does he, Fosu-Mensah? There again. towards the end of last season, got given some chances, didn't he? He started in the Crystal Palace game towards the end of last season. Also started in the West Ham game towards the end of last season. Didn't he start the opening game against Crystal Palace this season? Foster Mensah was actually one of our backup right backs to Wan-Bissaka, but now actually Brandon Williams could be our backup right back to Wan-Bissaka following the arrival of Alex Telles. Never really had a perception to be honest with you on Foster Mensah because, like I said, hasn't played much. Was out injured for quite a while. So there you go. So that's the breaking news on that. Now, I want to delve into some news on Mauricio Pochettinho. So, according to Julian Lawrence, who is from ESPN, he says that Mauricio Pochettino could make two big demands if he is appointed in as Manchester United manager to replace Solskjaer, and that is to ask for the sporting director and have greater power in the transfer market. Now, I think Mauricio Pochettino will be Manchester United's next manager. Obviously, Pochettino is interested in coming to Manchester United and he would favour a move to Manchester United over Manchester City. Mauricio Pochettino was linked to Real Madrid. Before. And I think at one point Newcastle were interested in him. Now, it said the other week that we contacted Mauricio Pochettino's representatives. Mauricio Pochettino has been managerless now for like a year. He was sacked from Tottenham last year, was Pochettino. And I think Tottenham made a bad mistake by getting rid of him. Now, Pochettino did endure 5.5 years with Tottenham. Analysing the vast majority of his tenure at Tottenham were competing in and out of the top four. And last year guided Tottenham to their first ever Champions League final. And he must have spent over £200 million in the 5.5 years he was at Tottenham. Before he was at Tottenham, he was at Southampton. He only had a short tenure with Southampton, but he did guide Southampton to their highest ever finish. And before he was at Southampton, he was at Espanyol. So far, he's managed 3 clubs in his managerial career. My only element of concern about Mauricio Pochettino is not won anything in terms of silverware, but, Pochettino is well Premier League proven. He's obviously dealt with top players and I like his philosophy. Mauricio Pochettino was linked with a managerial role at Man United after we sacked Jose Mourinho, but if we do appoint him in, he will be our 5th permanent manager since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. We're obviously looking at Massimiliano Allegri as an alternative to Mauricio Pochettino, aren't we? So that's the breaking news on him. I think definitely Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will be sacked as Manchester United manager. Not at this present time, obviously. He's under serious pressure, is Solskjaer. Reflecting on our poor start to the season, we've already lost 2 of our opening 3 league games. And reflects on that, we are sitting 16th in the Premier League, so we are near the relegation zone. Solskjaer is in the exact same position now as he was in at the first part of last season, because at the first part of last season, we enjoyed our worst start ever to a Premier League season. At that point, Solskjaer was very close to getting sacked by the football club. But Woodward, said last week, didn't he, that he's prepared to sack Solskjaer if this poor vein of form continues. And I've already gone through with you what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has to do to avoid getting sacked as Man United manager, and that's for his decision making to improve. Because I think in a lot of his games at Manchester United, he's being very tactically naive. I think there's definitely players that have got to improve. I think results have obviously got to improve. And I think, Solskjaer's got to exceed his expectations. I think he's got to guide us to a top 4 finish and win a trophy. I definitely want Manchester United to win a trophy, because we've not yet won out in terms of silverware under the Solskjaer era. And we haven't won a trophy for over 3 years. But like I updated you recently, Solskjaer's still got the backing of the players. This is according to Scott McTominay. But I think the players are still expecting him to get sacked. No, it will cost Manchester United around £4 million to sack Solskjaer. That's totally contrast to the £18 million that we paid to get rid of Jose Mourinho. Solskjaer's just got under 2 years left on his current contract at the club. So he's under contract with us until 2022. Now, Solskjaer's been at Manchester United for nearly 2 years now. We appointed him in December 2018. Obviously, Solskjaer's been permanent Manchester United manager since March 2019. And this is his second full season at the football club. I've taken positives from his tenure. Like I said last season, I credit him for what he did, because last season he exceeded most of his expectations. He got us qualification for the Champions League. We also got third, second highest we finished since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. And we also progressed to 3 semi-finals. And last season was Solskjaer's first full season at the club. Solskjaer has made some good signings so far. He's spent over £200 million at the football club. He's enjoyed 4 transfer windows now at Man United. Obviously, in his first transfer window, didn't recommend anyone in, but in the summer of 2019, he brought Daniel James, and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. In January, he brought Bruno Fernandes in, and he brought Odi Nagalo in on loan. And in the summer transfer window this year, he brought Donny van der Beek in, Alex Telles, Edison Cavani, Facundo Pellistri, and Ahmad Traore. Ahmad Traore, though, will be joining the club in January. I also like the way that Solskjaer has promoted the youth, because the young players have been given their opportunities. We've also had some good periods under him. We've also seen a lot of players leave since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got recommended into the club. The most recent players to leave Manchester United were obviously Chris Smalling. He joined Roma on a permanent deal. Diego Dalot, he went out on loan to AC Milan. Andres Pereira, he went on a 1-season loan with Lazio. Tahith Chong, he went out on loan to Werder Bremen. Dylan Levitt, he went out on loan to Charlton. Sanchez, he went to Inter Milan permanently. So they were the most recent players to leave Manchester United. The other players have left as well. Don't forget Angel Gomez left us. Ashley Young, he left back in January this year. We saw Valencia leave the football club in the summer of 2019. We saw Darmian leave in the summer of 2019. We saw Herrera leave in the summer of 2019. We saw Lukaku leave in the summer of 2019. We saw Fellaini leave in January 2019. I think he was the first player to leave under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. So they are the positives that you can take. But I just don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the right manager for Manchester United, because he isn't, because he hasn't got that proven pedigree as a manager. Manchester United is the third club in his managerial career. Before he was with us, he was at Mould, won a few Norwegian titles with Mould, and before he was at Mould, he was at Cardiff. Solskjaer enjoyed a very, very short tenure with Cardiff. His record at Cardiff was disastrous. The main explanation he got sacked from Cardiff is because he ended up getting Cardiff relegated. I thought Solskjaer was very, very good as a player. Club legend, enjoyed 11 years at Manchester United as a player and flourished under Sir Alex Ferguson's guidance. I want his managerial tenure to work out, but I just don't think it's gonna. Solskjaer's nearly managed 100 games now for Man United. He's won over 50 games as Manchester United manager. And like I say, not all of the blame stems from Solskjaer. Like I said, there's certain players that have got to take responsibility for our inconsistency. To be honest with you, I think the vast majority of the blame stems from the board. Woodward and the Glazers are a liability, and I think they've been a liability for quite some time now. Solskjaer said quite a few times during that summer transfer window that he was very, very infuriated with the board, because the board weren't backing the manager, were they? The board haven't backed any of our managers since Sir Alex Ferguson's retirement. So they didn't back Moyes, they didn't back Van Gaal, they didn't back Mourinho, and obviously, they haven't backed Solskjaer. But our recruitment policy has been poor for several years, and we've also overpaid for players and all of that. And these are the main explanations why we're being critical of the board. Woodward has been with us since 2012, and the Glazers have been with us since 2005, haven't they? We missed out on all of Solskjaer's priority targets in the summer transfer window. We missed out on Jadon Sancho. We've been in for Jadon Sancho for like the last 3 years. I think we'll go back in for him now in January. We missed out on Jack Grealish as well. We missed out on Nathan Ake. We missed out on Kalidou Koulibaly. We've been in for him for a while. We missed out on Sergio Reguilon. We also missed out on Gareth Bale. We missed out on Thiago. Obviously, some of them want his priority targets, but these are still the players we missed out on. We missed out on Jude Bellingham. We missed out on Erling Haaland back in January, and I said it was a shame we missed out on Erling Haaland, because he would have been an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer type signing, So, like I said, Solskjaer does deserve more backing as Manchester United manager. And I think as it stands at the moment, we are at least 3 to 4 years off from winning the Premier League, maybe even longer than that. We haven't made any title challenge up in the last 7 years or so, and we haven't won the Premier League since 2013. We are the most successful team in Premier League history, because we have won 20 titles and 13 of them are Premier League, We have only won 3 trophies since Alex Ferguson's retirement, and that was the FA Cup under Van Gaal and the Europa League and the League Cup under Jose Mourinho. And we'll say 4. We'll put the Community Shield into the equation. In the last 7 years as well, we've had different managers with different philosophies. 3 managers have been sacked since Ferguson retired, and that was David Moyes. He got sacked after like 9 months. Louis Van Gaal, he got sacked after 2 years. And Jose Mourinho, he got sacked after 2.5 years. So we haven't really got the structure to keep sacking managers. And like I've said, Solskjaer is in the same position as what Mourinho was in, because Mourinho made it clear to our board in the summer of 2018 that he wanted to get a centre-half in. The board obviously never backed him, and he never got that centre-half in. That's one of the main explanations why it didn't work out under Mourinho. There's obviously other reasons why it didn't work out under Mourinho. Mourinho obviously had disputes with the top players. Some people thought Mourinho left because of Paul Pogba and all of that, etc., etc. And just didn't get on with the board either, did Jose Mourinho, did he? But I just think it's going to be hard for any manager at Manchester United to replicate Ferguson's legacy or to last as long as Alex Ferguson did. You know, Ferguson endured, 26, 27 years at Man United, won a total of 38 major honours, didn't he? But like I said to you before, Ferguson didn't settle in straight away because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at the football club, did he? The success came under Fergie because since he retired being inconsistent and before Ferguson came into the equation, we weren't that good. We've spent £1 billion almost in the last 7 years or so on players. This is including what we've obviously spent under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. You know, obviously under the Moyes era, we brought Fellaini and Mata in. Under Van Gaal era, we must have brought a good 13 players in. Brought likes of Schneiderlin, Sebastian Schweinsteiger, Di Maria, Falcao, Memphis Depay, Rojo, Darmian, Martial Shaw, Blind, Herrera, Valdez, Romero. They're the players that were brought in under Louis Van Gaal, and Mourinho recommended around 11 players into the football club, and the vast majority of this team is Jose Mourinho's. So Solskjaer, you know, he's inheriting a lot of players here from the Mourinho era, still a few players here from the Van Gaal era, and still Matter here from the Moyes era. I think there's still, at the moment, only two players here from the Sir Alex Ferguson era. I think what we've also got to do is, I think we've got to put Dean Henderson as our number one goalkeeper, because I think Dean Henderson is now reliable enough to become our number one goalkeeper. You know, Dean Henderson has got that experience behind him. Dean Henderson has been at Manchester United since the age of 14, so he has been part of the club for several years. Not so long ago, signed a 6-year deal with the club worth 120 grand a week. Dean Henderson did enjoy 2 successful loans with Sheffield United. And in his last 2 games for Man United, he's kept clean sheets. You know, David De Gea, I don't want him to remain our number one. You know, David De Gea recently made another mistake for Spain. You know, Spain lost 1-0, was it, to Ukraine? You know, this season's David De Gea's 10th season at Manchester United, so he has been long serving. I think there's a good chance he could leave Manchester United next summer. And De Gea should be dropped to the game against Newcastle tomorrow. Dean Henderson needs to go in net. Harry Maguire, I've definitely got element of concerns about him. I think his career at Manchester United is finished, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. His troubles continue with Harry Maguire's. Obviously, had the incident in Greece the other month, got arrested, and recently got sent off for England in their 1-0 defeat to Denmark. Maguire needs to be dropped for the game tomorrow against Newcastle. I think we've also got to take the captaincy off him. I think, you know, we should give the captaincy to Bruno Fernandes, because Bruno Fernandes is the one that shows fantastic leadership in the team. Harry Maguire doesn't show any leadership, you know. This season is his 2nd season at Man United. We overpaid for Harry Maguire because we got him in a deal worth £80 million from Leicester last summer. So as it stands at the moment, he's the 2nd most expensive sign at the club behind Pogba and the most expensive centre-half in the world. You know, it is Newcastle tomorrow in the league. I gave you the preview for the game yesterday, didn't I? I said, you know, this is a must-win game for Manchester United, so because we want to bounce back from that 6-1 hammering against Tottenham before the international break. You know, like I said, Newcastle have done all right recently. You know, they haven't lost in their last 4 games in all competitions. They won their last league game against Burnley by 3-1, and they're sitting 9th in the Premier League in Newcastle. You know, this fixture at St James's Park last season was 1-0 to Newcastle. Like I said to you, know, Newcastle made some good signings. They brought Jamal Lewis in, Callum Wilson, Ryan Fraser and Jeff Henrick. They've got injuries like I updated you yesterday. Yeah, they've obviously got Matty Longstaff out, Dwight Gale out, Yedlin out. Paul Dummett, I think he's injured for Newcastle. And they've got other injuries as well. But can't obviously remember all of them. Their current manager, Steve Bruce. Newcastle would have been, like I said, upset when Rafa Benitez resigned from them last year, because I thought Rafa Benitez was a very, very good manager, got a good pedigree behind him. Mike Ash is still their current owner, Newcastle's. He's been their owner for like the last 13 years now. But there was talks of the Saudi Arabians taking over at Newcastle, wasn't there? Like I said, tomorrow, Alex Telles will be making his debut for the club. I think Alex Telles is going to be a good signing for Man United. I think we paid just over £15 million for him. Telles signed a 4-year deal with the club with an option of a further year. He's obviously going to remain our first choice left back now. Facundo Pellistri, he could be also making his debut for the club. We got him for around £9 million from Penarol. He signed a 5-year deal with the club with an option of a further year. Donny van der Beek, he should be making his first Premier League start. I'm surprised that he's not even yet made his full Premier League debut. I think Donny van der Beek's enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career. You know, got him in a deal worth £40 million from Ajax. I think Van der Beek signed a 5-year deal with the club with an option of a further year. And he currently wears the number 34 shirt for Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes, he's going to be available for Newcastle, which is very good news from Manchester United perspective, because it recently said that Bruno Fernandes could miss 4 games for Man United because Ronaldo earlier on this week got tested positive for coronavirus, and he says he might have to self-isolate for 2 weeks, Bruno Fernandes, but now that's not the case. Don't forget, Bruno Fernandes recently denied that I had a bust-up with Solskjaer. Fabrizio Romano, who's a very reliable Italian journalist, came out and said that he spoke to someone close to Bruno Fernandes and said that he's got no problem with Solskjaer, and the rumours that were going around aren't true, because it was saying like Bruno Fernandes has lost faith in Solskjaer, he wants Solskjaer out, and Bruno Fernandes was also having a go at the board of the lack of signings. You know, Bruno Fernandes has been at the football club now for almost a year. You know, he's been with us since January. We got him for just over £46 million. He won some Buzzer Player of the Year award. Don't forget, he must have won Premier League Player of the Month around 3 times, reflecting on his good run of performances. A lot of Bruno Fernandes' goals at Man United have come from the penalty spot. Edison Cavani is obviously not available for the game tomorrow, so he won't be making his debut. The reason he isn't available is due to COVID-19 restrictions. You know, we got Cavani on a free transfer. He signed a 2-year contract with the club worth over 200 grand a week. Well, it's in a 200,000 pound range, isn't it? Tuanzebe is not available. Jones, I don't think, is available. Bay's obviously out with injury. Bay sustained a hamstring injury whilst he was on national duty with Ivory Coast. That's my only concern about Eric Bay. You know, he's too injury prone. Anthony Martial, he's suspended for 3 games, as you all know, because he got sent off in our 6-1 defeat to Tottenham. I don't think Anthony Martial, though, should have been sent off. After a game against Newcastle, it's PSG. That's the Champions League. That'll be our first game in the group stage. I heard that PSG could be without 7 players, because I heard that they've tested positive for corona. One of them's Ander Herrera, I heard. Don't know, I'll have to read more into it. But yeah. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless you all again very, very soon.